What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Verbal Garbage coming at you hot and live. I don't know, it might have been close to a year now that we've had this guest on, but we're trying to make him a staple, guys. Once a week type of deal or something like that. We're not sure, but Saturdays, Sundays are our only day to match up. Sharif's back. Sharif, talk to the people. Tell them what's new in life.
Nothing's new. Nothing much is new.
That's not true.
There's there's been such a hiatus between us and this podcast because it seems the host, he's busy, and I understand that. Like, I don't want to, criticize him. He works very hard. He has a lot of guests lined up, and sometimes you get lost in the shuffle. That's
That's
fine.
literally that couldn't be further from the truth. I'd understand if I've had a ton of guest episodes since your last appearance, but that's completely false. Now, I know we kind of like talking sports, but I feel like there's a big life event that needs to be discussed on here. Can we tell the people about the gluten and the weed elimination, the sugar? I mean, this is big stuff we're talking.
I mean, yeah, for the last 2 months, I've stopped smoking weed mostly. I say mostly because I did smoke a couple times.
California sober.
Um, sugar, sugar, I just like it's easy for me. The sugar thing was easier than the weed
But wasn't
because
it a thing where you thought it was like one thing and then another, and then your doctor was like, "Well, it could be the pot."
yes, exactly. That's what happened. And honestly, since then, I felt better. Not fully better, but like it's definitely helped, which is interesting. Um,
Terrifying, because I'm fighting my demons as we speak. Regardless of what I eat every day, the next morning is
yeah,
something out of a
yeah.
horror movie, and I'm just curious if it's a combination of the sugar and the put. But
No, I mean, I don't know if it's like exactly what's wrong with me. I just like was so tired of like feeling like shit every day. And I decided to make a change. I stopped taking my medicines and I just stopped smoking weed. I stopped eating sugar, and I've been doing better, but
this guy's amazing.
no, I'm not that
There's
amazing.
a reason you're not on the podcast because I just don't feel like a worthy host for all you've been through and achieved in this world.
I can definitely understand that. Like, I'm pretty high quality human. Um, Very judgmental. Like, I see you guys, you share pictures of your cookies, your crumble cookies, your cakes, and I'm just like disgusted by it. Like, I'm just trying
Yeah,
to like
well,
help you guys live longer and be
listen,
better people.
I feel as humans, regardless of jobs or situations, we all are entitled to a vice or two. My vice is
Oh,
weed and sugar. So,
I disagree. I think you should really look in the mirror one day and give your life back to the one who made us.
and who's that, dude?
I don't know, whoever you want it to be.
See, and this is the problem we have, guys. When we have friends and family members and whatever that take on a new diet, there comes this sense of entitlement and self worth that just goes through the roof. And
Dude,
I've been
I
victimized by years by the vegans. My brother and his fiance Eva, they would victimize us for years, just shaming us, telling them how food is friends and not food. And now we got Sharif over here. It's just always saying sugar and acting like he's just better than us. So
I'm not better than you
where do
guys,
you get
but
that from? I'm just curious. Like,
I
where
just
do you get off?
like I see you guys eating these atrocities, and it makes me laugh.
Did it ever occur to you that I fucking earn my atrocities, brother?
Yeah, but then when you're texting at 6:30 in the morning that your bidet is running out of water,
That does no.
you've used all the water in your bidet for the day, so you couldn't keep going anymore.
That's
It's kind of concerning.
well, you're the one who brought it up. I was gonna try to steer clear, but can you just tell the people why we're resistant? We're gonna call you single ply Sharif. Like, why are you resistant to the bidet?
Well, as a human who's been cleaning his ass for going on 30, I don't want to say 30 years because, my mom and dad definitely did it for the first couple.
Oh, I was assistant way longer than I want to admit. So
Well, now you're still assisted if you think about it.
yeah, at the cost of saving money.
I mean, look, when I was younger, I was taught the proper technique to clean an asshole.
Oh,
I'm shooting like 99% with like
that
bathroom, then clean ass, clean hands, back to my life.
yeah, but like we evolve over time, do we not? You didn't start off with a cell phone. Now
Hey,
look at you.
I agree. We do all evolve, but
You're probably feeding your pets via cell phone now.
like they make things like some people like for
Triggers
example,
me.
I just went
If
to a
you were
customer's
bought one
house.
as a like a payment for your services on the Verbal Garbage podcast, would you use it?
Yes, I would put it in one
Okay.
of my bathrooms.
Then I think we have a settlement here, guys. We're gonna have to purchase. We're gonna have to make another purchase, and it's been a few months of struggle financially. If Reef, you can catch my drift, the topic that's at hand there,
Yeah.
where certain big dollars are still owed to Freddie Souffle. So we're waiting on that, and now we're gonna go further in the hole with another bidet purchase. But guess what? We're gonna get one, and you're gonna give live testimony in the pod. So thank you for being open to it. Some people are very closed minded and shut it off, and you're
Close
open
the
to it.
Chiefs.
So yeah. So toilet talk is something, that should probably be the name of the podcast, is toilet talk. It's something I cover a little more than I like, but in my defense, you started this one. A popular thing we love talking about, football. So I didn't really want to go game to game here, but we can kind of just dive in. Early season thoughts. I just kind of want to pick your brain on. I guess we can start on the AFC side of things. First, like, biggest disappointment, and you can kind of go wherever you want. But I'm just thinking the Bengals are the team that keeps coming up to me, with Burrow getting paid that huge contract, with having Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd and T Higgins and Mixon. They're really struggling, and I've just been shocked by it. AFC looks. I'm not going to say weak, but compared to the NFC, I mean, wouldn't you agree? Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles.
Well, first thing,
I'm not going in that order, but I'm saying like the strength of the league is definitely lying in the NFC. No?
first thing, I think
Chiefs.
it's been a pretty poor start to the season.
Yes.
Like
Week one
everyone,
was
every
terrible.
every team, every team has not looked very good. Every team's had moments where they looked pretty terrible. The Cowboys last week, they're just terrible in general, but they'll win a lot of games per usual.
It's so funny,
40
the same thing every year, though. They have a couple
every
good games
year.
and everyone goes crazy.
But like, I personally think in the AFC, like the team to beat is still the Chiefs.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Until Patrick Mahomes is dead, I think they'll be the team to beat in the AFC, kind of like how Brady was when he was for his 20-year reign or so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sucks.
think about it. He's been in the AFC Championship or Super Bowl every year that he's been a starter.
I still like to think in the bottom of my heart, that Josh Allen can really overcome his struggles
Josh
here and give him a
Josh Allen
challenge. But
Josh Allen's not even the best quarterback in his division anymore.
no, Mac Jones has really improved. I know it's been, and
He's actually
it's
third.
just, what are your thoughts as far as like the disappointing team in the AFC? Are you shocked by the Russell Wilson and Sean Payton disaster, or uh Mac Jones and Bill Belichick? Do you think they were going to together? Or how about the Jets? Even though Aaron Rodgers got hurt, he was mentored. Zach Wilson was mentored by Aaron Rodgers. That
Yeah.
sure was going to help, right?
Maybe we talked about this last year, but I'm not the highest on Aaron Rodgers over the last couple of years. I think the last MVP he won about 2 or 3 years ago was such like a joke. Like it was just like the media just like, oh, he's so good. He made this throw, that throw. They're so bad, and it's like they look pretty fine without him. They look even better without him, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's weird how they all were obsessing over him the minute he got to New York, and they were all acting
And
like,
then
you know,
and I wasn't really high on the Jets being a playoff team because I don't think Rodgers is as good as he was. I don't think he's aged as well as quarterbacks in the past. Um,
fair.
and I don't really like their coach much. I think he's like a good defensive coach for sure, but I just don't see it with the offense. And I'm not trying to like give credit to Mac. What's his name? Zach Wilson, Zach Jones, Zach Wilson,
Yeah,
same
well,
thing.
same thing. Yeah.
But like I just don't see what they're doing. Like, why is like there was a game about 2 weeks ago where Brees Hall had what 3 or 4 touches. It's
Yep.
like, what didn't you guys draft him high? What are you doing? Like, what is the
Yeah.
point of drafting a guy high? Especially a running back, knowing that you basically only have them for 4 years, because once that contract's up, it's like we're not paying you.
Right.
So it's like, why aren't
And
you using this guy?
I'm probably just gonna drop this on Tuesday, like I said, but this is danger zone for the Jets here, buddy. They're Sunday Night Football going against the team you just mentioned, the Chiefs, and Sunday Night Football under the lights, and it's gonna be a bigger game than normal, And there's a few reasons for that, but mainly there's gonna be somebody in the booth, up there in one of the
Chris
press boxes.
Collinsworth, yes.
And it just has a new gravity. You know, she brings a whole new set of fans in, and they got their own name. They're buying Kelsey jerseys. They're repping the Reds. So it's
Yeah, I mean, we're talking
well,
football, and that's a very important part of football. So,
what do you have anything to
yeah.
say about her?
Um,
She's really caused the storm in the NFL over this last week, huh?
yeah, when you see your favorite team who has a brother of the player who might be dating this pop star, the team that I love tweeting the best blank and
Yeah.
Swift, or I'm sorry, Kelsey and blank
Oh, you
combo.
blew it. You literally blew it. I was gonna go the whole segment without mentioning the name, but um, yeah, back to the football. I mean, the Chiefs definitely have a chance to put the Cinderella story of the season to bed here, right? I mean, the Jets were the talk of the town, Broadway, Aaron Rodgers, Hard Knocks, and it's been a really long, ugly ending. And Zach Wilson, I mean, they just signed Trevor Siemian, I think. Do you think this is his last game ever? Will he ever be back?
So, I
Second year,
mean,
right? Second year, number two overall pick.
I'm not trying to make a big deal of this, but you know how quarterbacks in the NFL are. He'll just get another job somewhere else, and someone else will believe in him. Then he'll be a backup somewhere else again, and he'll
I
be
mean,
Nathan
he is like
Peterman.
what, 23 years old. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
But I actually think, and I may be wrong when this comes out. I think it'll be a close game because the Chiefs have a tendency to play down to their competition.
True. Yeah, I mean, look at
Um,
who they play.
the
Would they play?
Jaguars.
Jaguars, and they look
Yeah, they look.
absolute
Yeah,
trash.
they look toilet, very toilet.
Don't
Not to go back on
you
that.
know it's a trigger for me? Just please be easy. Well, on the flip side of that, I mean, I'd like to go just conference by conference. AFC strongest team. Are you Dolphins? Like that's kind of everyone's big impression right now, and I got to admit, I don't know how long it can last. There's just some kind of skepticalness I have with them, where I don't know what it is, whether it's the cold weather that's going to be coming up, or Tua's injury history, or the speed not being able to
Yeah,
last. I mean, there's a few factors, but what are your thoughts on Miami right now?
I mean, the Denver game aside. Obviously, I'm very impressed with them. Tyreek Hill somehow keeps getting better and better.
It's insane.
It doesn't
It's
make any sense. He looks faster every time you see him. Then they pull these running backs out of their ass.
a chain.
Yeah, and then and Raheem Mostert's always been a good running back, but he's never stayed healthy. And that's their big issue is everyone staying healthy because
It's
I
like
don't know how it
DeAndre.
works. Yeah, I don't know how it works. I watched Tua play. I still think he sucks, but he's actually good. He makes good throws. Maybe it's because he's left-handed and I can't see it as well, but it throws me off when I see him throw the ball. It's just like, how is this like?
I forgot
How is
this
this
was one of
working?
your narratives last year about how bad our boy Tua is, and
I was wrong.
it sounds like you
I
gave
was,
him some credit. And you're willing to admit
yeah. No, I was definitely wrong because I was comparing him to you know who, and
you
that's
were
not who
wrong.
he is at all.
No,
That
definitely
that
not.
guy, the guy I was comparing him to, the former baseball player and tight end quarterback. Um, he's definitely not that. Like we definitely won't see him playing minor league baseball for the Mets anytime
Former
soon.
baseball player.
He's definitely an NFL player.
Oh, that's good. Shout out Tim Turbo. Um, you kind of threw me for a loop there with the subliminal Tebow content. Just really got me tizzy. What were we literally? You shook my
Oh,
earth.
we're talking about the Dolphins, and
Oh,
I'm
that's right.
definitely high on them. But like, if it came down to it, I'm still leaning the Chiefs in the AFC because I just trust the quarterback too much, and
Especially if it's a playoff game in Arrowhead. You know,
I
it's
I
just
trust Andy Reid to figure out some ways to get creative with his fellas. And I think there's going to be a trade this year with them. I think they're going to have to make a trade.
positionally. Where are you thinking?
Wide
Defense,
receiver.
offense?
I think it has to be wide receiver because their defense looks great this year, actually, which is why I think they're even more scary than they were in the past because their defense is already firing and it's just
Yeah.
their offense. And it's like,
Ever since
I'm not
Chris
gonna,
Jones came back, it's been pretty
yeah.
insane what they've looked like. And you're right. And there's one name that's been floating around these last couple weeks for being on the move potentially. And I don't know if the Chiefs could pull it off, but could you imagine if they're able to get Devontae Adams over to them?
Really?
Is
I
that,
haven't heard anything about that. That's
well,
interesting.
there's been a lot of talk about Devontae Adams still being like a dominant receiver and Oakland kind of tanking and maybe giving up on him. And I don't know. I
I
just thought that was kind of interesting to
I
see.
think he's amazing still. So I would love. I mean, I
But
would
what do
love it,
you
but
like? NFL is not really like the NBA as much, where you don't see trades like that. Do you have any idea what that would even entail? Like getting him
I was
multiple.
I was listening to something football related the other day, and they were talking about like why trades don't happen much in the NFL and the reason. But they made the point that receiver is probably the best position to trade because it's the easiest to learn, which is interesting to
Okay,
me. I don't know how that would work at
that
all.
is weird because remember, like Antonio Brown went to the Patriots, and like there was a
He
lot
was a
of
little,
Patriots receivers
yeah.
that would go there and have like issues learning that offense. So that seems a little.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's true.
That
It's
that's
just
just that's
interesting.
one example I can think of, but I don't know. That's just a name I've heard recently, and I'm just like that because I don't know what other receivers are really out there to trade for.
I mean, you got the Bucks guys, but I don't think they're going to trade them.
Oh, that's true, Mike Evans, because they didn't re-sign him.
Yeah, because I mean, they lost to the Eagles, which is not like not something to be mad about. But they've been looking good this year. Besides that,
Yep,
so they're going to give it a little bit more time before they like decide what they're going to do for sure.
absolutely. And then I guess one other team before we move over to the NFC would be the Browns. I mean, you've been pretty impressed with. You're not? No.
No, I don't believe in that.
Why?
I
Why
don't
do
believe.
we? Why are we
I
so quick
don't.
to dismiss?
I just. It's like I have this thing, and I'm sorry, it may sound corny. I don't believe in the Browns. I don't believe in the Lions. I
Oh
don't believe it.
wow!
Yeah,
Shots fired.
I don't believe in those
Lions,
kind of
huh?
teams. I've been watching football for over 25 years, and I know what I don't believe in and what I do believe in.
I mean, it's kind of like the Chargers, right? I mean,
Yes,
yeah.
the
That
Bengals
kind of that
almost
kind of
broke the
hurts because
curse.
I'm close with a couple Lions fans, and that just I really want to be a believer. And
Look, they look awesome this year, but the Lions have this thing. I mean, what did Montgomery have 3 touchdowns the other night?
yeah, I fell asleep at halftime. So
Okay, so what the Lions did is give the Eagles a first round pick running back, and they drafted another running back in the first round. They don't use him. So why would they draft a running back in the first round and not use
yeah,
him? Why
that's
like they
so.
could be they did it 2 times in a row now. It's like why?
But they have nailed their draft. On the other hand, like they got
They sh-
that
ex-
that
exactly. So if they just nailed those 2 other picks, like they'd be
true.
set right now.
Yeah,
There's
well,
small
maybe
holes in team, and
that goes in
I'm
with your
gonna.
theory, about them. Just they're not going to take them seriously.
But we can go to the NFC now and talk about the Lions because I'm actually a little bit higher on them. Now that
Okay,
I think
well,
about it,
talk
I
about them.
love that. I love that guy Laporta. The
Oh,
way he
dude,
runs, I hate to like compare him because he looks like him on the field, but he looks like Gronk.
the G word. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, and they
and
they drafted Hawkinson before, let him go, and now they got Laporta, and with
yeah,
Amon Ross St. Brown, and
he's
you think at
awesome.
some point they're going to get Gibbs involved, and our boy Jamison Williams coming back from suspension at some point. Their division is looking
Pretty trash.
kind of friendly for their schedule. Packers had a lot of momentum coming out,
Yeah,
and they might just gradually get exposed. I think. I don't know
I
if
just
Jordan,
I think it would be a huge disappointment if they did not win that division.
who the Packers or the Lions.
The Lions,
Yeah, yeah, for sure, because they had all the buzz coming in, and Packers kind of came out of nowhere. Minnesota's
0-3.
floundering, yeah, to say the least. And
Justin Fields plays for the other team. That's all you need to
oh
say.
my God, let's talk about that game this weekend. Chicago is playing the Denver Broncos, probably the two worst teams in the NFL right now, but they have high profile quarterbacks, right? I mean, Justin Fields
I
was getting
guess.
MVP talk. I mean, you can say what you want, but people were literally talking about him as an
Oh,
MVP candidate in the
I
offseason,
know.
which was just,
I'm one of those stupid people who drafted him in fantasy. So
I would say it's stupid because running in fantasy for quarterbacks is huge. And
yeah,
but he seemed to don't not even be doing that this year. And I don't know,
I
they
mean
just look like a mess. And then
they look a
Denver,
mess, and he was looking better towards the end of the last year. So I wouldn't like completely give up on him yet, but it's like the time is running out, and this is a huge game because Denver is horrible. Denver has a horrible quarterback.
oh,
Their quarterback and head coach are living off success from 10 years ago.
that's really
Um,
fair. I mean, Sean Payton's got to look so silly right now, coming out of retirement when he was on
yeah,
Fox, making tons of money to say, our
yeah.
boy Bill Simmons always makes jokes about these halftime shows on the
Our
big
boy, just
networks.
keep going.
You don't like him anymore?
I mean, he's been losing the fastball lately.
He brings up he has one guest on to talk about Taylor Swift for a week, and Sharif's out on a guy who's been
No, he
producing
has
free
his
content for years for us.
no. He puts his the CEO of Ticketmaster on to talk about the Bills or something the other day. It's like, dude, cool. You have rich friends. Congrats. Like,
Oh my god. So if you
did he?
started making tons of money off fucking gambling and I had you
I
on, what
don't
am
know.
I? Like some pompous little
No. Then Bill Simmons is like, people were high on the Steelers. It's like, no, you were high on the Steelers, dude.
Oh, he did have Seth Meyers on. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, great, cool. Seth
Um
Meyers is just so cool, man. And, and and let me tell you who's really cool. That Jimmy Kimmel. Wow. When
oh
he
my
comes on,
god.
they talk about their son's penis. That's really good content.
Wow, a real turn out of nowhere. We know you'll be back. You'll be back. You just
You know the
love
cycle
the
with
like
me.
hate listen and yeah, he goes through
Yeah,
these
it's a
things
cycle.
and it's
You
fine.
know.
Um yeah, so the NFC North, we kind of broke that down a little bit. The NFC South, kind of putrid. Carolina, not worth talking about. New Orleans, not worth talking about. And who are the other two teams? Tampa Bay, they're the front runner, I guess. And then
Falcons.
ugh. If you had
I
to
mean,
pick a team out of that division. So real quick, I guess we'll just do like little division winner previews right now. We're just kind of think who we're doing, at least in the NFC. NFC North, we think it's definitely Detroit.
yeah,
Yeah. Now NFC South, I mean, I guess I would have to go with
I would pick Atlanta.
Atlanta. Having Desmond Ritter winning a division just seems a little strange to me, but
I know. I just feel
winning
like they have
game is good. And
the best coach in the division, and the best defense.
yeah, I haven't really watched them enough yet to give an educated take on them, but New Orleans does have Kamara coming back this week, so we'll see if that makes a big difference. I mean, he's a really good player that could help, and Olave and Mike Thomas on the outside, they have weapons,
Yeah,
So
for sure. But Carr's hurt right now, and
dude, Jameis.
I wish they would give him a chance. But you know what they're really going to do? They're going to put that player
Oh,
in.
I. And oh my god, you're
I
probably
actually
right.
like. He's actually good though. I can't
He's
hate
earned
him
my
anymore.
respect, dude. He's
He's
still
earned
like,
my
and
respect
he's
too.
older and he's still out there doing special teams, taking hits, giving hits. So that
Yeah.
that player, that's fucking hilarious. Um, yeah. So the NFC South to me is like one of the most boring, meaningless divisions at the moment. Other than the NFC or the AFC South, but Houston's got actually some buzz right now. So, um, I guess I was gonna save the NFC East for last, but we can cover them right now. Cowboys, Eagles, obviously at the top. Redskins are kind of trailing behind, but they had a terrible game last year. What?
Commanders.
What I say?
You said Redskins.
Oh, dude, yeah. Sorry, guys. If I have to cancel this
Pay
episode
them.
because of that one flub, then it's just gonna be a tragedy. But you know what? I've been on my really good behavior today. Um, I usually have like one topic per episode where I can get in serious trouble for. Um, Commanders are coming off a really, really a tough game, if you will. Giants are sitting at the bottom, looking brutal, giving Danny Jones all that money. Barkley's hurt. No receivers to speak of. Just a mess. Good coach, we thought, maybe not. And Cowboys, let's just be honest. It's just a matter of time before they crumble, right? I mean, it's not just because I'm a biased Eagles fan. I mean, it's just the Dak Prescott era, the Mike McCarthy era. It's just no. Eagles for the division. Tell me why I'm
So
wrong.
I think the Cowboys, they might win a good amount of games this year. They might even win the division, but I don't take them very seriously. Um, I think they made a huge mistake starting 2 off seasons ago, letting a Cooper go.
Oh, wow.
And I
All
also
right.
think letting Dalton Schultz go is really killing them right now because they just don't have anybody to throw to inside
Yeah,
the 20-yard line, And Schultz was a like 7 or 8 touchdown guy. He was a reliable player.
it's a good point.
And Amari Cooper, you've seen no matter where he goes, he's just 100
It's
catches,
weird.
80 catches, 90, 100 catches, and
Yep.
they don't have that anymore. They don't have that. Like they have Pollard and Lamb as their weapons, and it's like even losing Zeke, like Zeke wasn't great, but he came in for a few plays and sometimes did something. He could block,
Yeah.
he could get short yardage. It's like I don't think they're really making smart moves.
No, and then the injury bug, it bites everybody in the NFL. But I think the last game they played, they were missing three starting offensive linemen. Their
Mm.
best cornerback Diggs towards ACL in practice. That Sunday night game, or I can't remember what game it was, but Parsons dominates every game. But that was a game where he was getting hit a lot and knocked over
Mm-hmm.
and really shaken up. So yeah, and like you said, letting go of Amari Cooper, he would take off that burden of CeeDee Lamb. They thought Michael Gallup was going to fill the role, and then they're bringing in guys like who's the veteran they brought in this year? They have Brandon Cooks or something like.
Yeah, Brandon
Yeah,
Cooks, who's good, but
he's good, but it's just maybe on another team he'd be doing better. He's just cursed by the Cowboys, but I don't know. And then you got on the opposite side the Eagles that were already loaded, and granted they lost some big players, mainly Javon Hargraves, who comes to top of mind, CJ Gardner Johnson, but they go out in the draft and get. I'm sorry, like as of right now, he's the best player in the draft. I mean, CJ Stroud is definitely gonna. I
yeah, I
think
mean, I
over
guess
time win that
yeah,
argument
because
because the
he's a
quarterback.
quarterback. Yeah,
Exactly, but Jalen Carter is wrecking games right now and putting a stamp on it this early on. So I don't know. I think it's really going to be the Eagles and the Niners neck and neck all year, fighting for home field.
um, to go back on a point about the Eagles and Cowboys, uh, Dak obviously isn't very good, and Jalen Hurts is not that great either. He's solid, but
He's
The
yeah, there's
Eagles
something.
put weapons around him, and you saw what happened. And it's like the Cowboys are subtracting weapons from their quarterback, and the Eagles keep
Right.
adding weapons for their quarterback. Like they have Swift now. It's like it's
And
such a burden taken off Jalen Hurts by having Swift back there. It's
that's
just
true.
like
And in the defense of both those teams, real quick though, they both did lose Kellen Moore and Shane Steichen, who
mhm.
I mean, Shane Steichen, what he's doing with Indianapolis right now, and
Yeah,
Richardson
it's
and
impressive.
Minshew, it's proven to be a big loss for the Eagles. And we haven't even seen Rashad Penny for the Eagles scratch the surface yet. Gainwell got hurt. We haven't seen Boston Scott yet. So there's a lot more to be said for the running game, and I'm hoping they're going to lean on those guys a little more to give Swift a little bit of, you know, I
Yeah,
don't know what I'm looking for, but he's very injury prone over his career, and we need to find a way to preserve him. And Jalen
yeah,
Hurts got to get the accuracy going, and
yeah. It's
it's
I'm a
early,
little
but
concerned.
for sure,
The play calling feels like it's been pretty horrible.
yeah,
Um, and I feel like Hurts, his chemistry has kind of been off with. I mean, last game he did well, but like with AJ Brown, it's kind of been off. He's been dropping a lot of passes too. I
yeah,
feel like Dallas Goedert hasn't been involved all year.
nope,
Um, so it's weird. It's like maybe it's because it's a new offense and it's different, but I feel like us as fans, we need to like see a game where they look like they did last year. Where they just like destroy a team. Everyone
yeah. And
gets
this is
their
the perfect
touches.
week for it because
Yeah,
the Commanders are the only team to ever give Jalen Hurts I think his
yeah,
regular season loss, right?
yeah.
He's got some
They
record
lost
out
at
there like
home.
20-1 or 18-1 in the regular season. The commies are the ones that do it. So perfect bounce back opportunity, I think, this week for the Birds, and we'll see
Yeah.
how it bears. We got about 3 minutes left. So NFC West, what are your thoughts? We got Seattle, San Francisco. I love trying to do it off my head because I always get 3 out of 4 teams. It's so funny. Seattle, San Francisco, the Rams, and finish it for us. Cardinals, dirty,
Cardinals.
dirty birds.
They,
Josh Dobbs just beat the Cardinals. So
um, it's a shame. Before the season, I like put a bet in for it, whatever. I really was high on the Rams this year. I thought everyone was sleeping on them. They look actually pretty
nope.
good
Yeah,
through
they're
like the first
scrappy.
game. They didn't really look good versus the Bengals. I thought they were going to beat the Bengals,
Close.
but
That stupid
yeah,
7 and 8 o'clock
it's
Monday Night Football thing they're doing right now. I
I
fucking
know
hate it.
it's frustrating, but the division's actually pretty good. Everyone seems to be playing well right now.
Yeah, I
Even the
mean
Cardinals.
Carolina. I
The
mean
Cardinals could be 3-0. All their games they
exactly.
could have easily won all of them. Um, Seattle. I love Seattle. I love Geno
Yeah,
Smith. I love Pete Carroll.
it's got to get Jackson Smith and Jigba involved a little. He's pouting over there on the sideline. If you didn't see that,
Yeah, but
so
I like them. They got that rookie running back who's going to start taking carries soon. They've got a good team. Their defense is still pretty terrible, but they're fun.
yep. And then San Francisco, they got Mr. Purdy, the talk of the town. Everyone loves him, and McCaffrey and Debo and Ayuk and Kittle. Crazy defense. What do you think them and the Eagles long term. How do they fare with each other?
I don't wish injury on people, but you just mentioned McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk. They're like the four most injured players I could think of in the league.
That's true.
And
And
that's what
it's
happens
just
with them eventually,
it's
sadly.
funny because I've turned to be like a bitter hater of the 49ers and the Chiefs. Chiefs just because the Eagles lost such a dumb Super Bowl and it's a coach that was our whatever. But the 49ers, like that playoff game last year where all they were doing was like, if we had our court, it's like,
I
okay,
hate
we
them so
sacked
much.
the quarter, we sacked your quarterback to hurt him, and now it's like this whole if we had our quarterback.
The 49ers are living like when's the last time the 49ers won a Super Bowl? I don't think we were born, right?
I don't either. I mean, they got to that one with Cappy, but
Yeah, and they lost.
yeah, yeah, no, you're right. So
And they're always the most talked about team every year, and they lose. And
for
it's a
sure.
shame.
So I don't want to get us cut off, but I guess we'll just do an early because we just did a little outlook of the league. Super Bowl prediction. What do you got? Eagles Chiefs again?
Eagles, Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The Chiefs are going to win
Yeah.
again.
Even with lack of receivers, if they don't make a move, you still think standing pat they can still win it.
Yeah, I think Pat and Andy Reid is a deadly combo that can't be
Yeah.
defeated.
Well, I'm gonna do Eagles Chiefs, and I'm gonna pick the Birds just to be a homer pick, and really pray to God that a miracle can happen. So, Sharif, it's been a pleasure having you on. We're gonna. What do you think? 1 week, 2 weeks, we can do it again.
We can do it tomorrow if you want, buddy.
All right, maybe after the football games, we can recap and do a double drop.
And we could talk about the next week's games and like guess like the spreads, maybe something like
Oh,
that.